What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the one and only Fragrance Fraternity. Hopefully this video finds you in good health. Gotta thank God for another day to smell good, and hope you're feeling good out there. So today we have what I believe is the ultimate compilation of 10 fragrances, niche fragrances specifically for the fall season of 2024. I picked some of the best niche fragrances that I believe are gonna have you smelling absolutely fantastic this fall. So let's get started here with these recommendations. Let me know if I missed any important fragrances that you think need to be in this list. First of all, we have Jacque Fath. This is Tempete de Autumn. Autumn in the name already, so you know it's going to be a perfect fall fragrance. If you enjoy fragrances like Maison Margiela's Replica, Autumn Vibes, this gives me a similar smell, similar feel to it, but this one's a little bit better. You get a nice milkiness that comes in. It's got a bit of like a sugary sweetness to it as well. Imagine a leaf, like a leaf that has changed colors, it's fallen down, so you get that earthiness, you know, like that smell of those kind of like dead, dried leaves. So you get a bit of that mixed with a touch of like a sugary sweetness layered with nice milkiness. It's kind of a complex fragrance. That's pretty much the best way I can describe it. This was perfumed by the one and only Cecile Zarokian, who, if you don't know, has perfumed a lot of the Amouage fragrances that are pretty much top tier type fragrances. So this fragrance was on sale at FragranceNet. I believe they had it on clearance. I was able to scoop it up for a really great price. So hopefully that comes back so you guys can get a bottle or at least try it out and see what you think of it. You do get a bit of this kind of effervescent type cola vibe. It doesn't have a cola smell, but it does have that soda pop type brightness and that type feel from it. So if something a little bit earthy, a little bit kind of like leafy, mixed with a bit of like sugary milkiness sounds good to you, certainly unisex, and certainly maybe for somebody a little bit further along in their fragrance journey that wants something a little bit with some complexity to wear this fall, and more so perhaps towards the evening time in the cooler weather. This one's going to work better. So Tempete de Autumn from Jacque Fath is just a really beautiful composition that Cecile Zarokian came up with. All right, let's go in a different direction now. This is Xerjoff's 40 Knots. Been hoping to acquire this fragrance for a long time, so I'm really happy to have it now, and I've been enjoying it and wearing it. Can't wait to tell you guys about it. So if you go into this with the expectation of it being an aquatic, you might be a little bit upset, because although the name is 40 Knots, there's nothing really aquatic or oceanic going on here. They didn't necessarily name this fragrance properly, in my opinion. But they are trying to sell bottles, so it makes sense. Beautiful presentation here. I mean, I just love the look of this bottle. It's stunning. Always enjoy it, like catching it in the corner of my eye and kind of seeing it. So that doesn't go for much, but you know, a nice looking bottle counts for something. Mainly spiced honey and woods is what you're going to get here. If you have, you know, a fragrance that you can envision is a little bit creamy, a little bit of like this honeyed sweetness going on, and a nice woodiness underneath it all, that's essentially what you're going to get with 40 Knots. Nothing really aquatic here, just spiced honey and woods mainly. Incredible performance here, good quality with a brand like Xerjoff that you'd expect, and a lot of versatility. Really a fragrance that you can wear with a suit and tie. You could wear this with a t-shirt, so a lot of different situations that you could use this in. And in my mind, this is kind of the ideal fragrance for a 25 to 35-year-old. Maybe a little bit too rich for, you know, the summer heat, but the fall time is the perfect time of year to wear 40 Knots. Can't recommend this one enough. Maybe one that at first you may not dig, but give it a couple wearings. Let yourself kind of get used to the smell, and you may find that it really grows on you over time. That's the experience that I had. I wouldn't be surprised if you have the same with 40 Knots from Xerjoff. Next up, we have what is just an incredible bottle, an incredible fragrance overall. This is Signature Seraphim Red from the house of George Zaharoff. I haven't had a whole lot of exposure to this house, and as I'm getting my nose on more and more of their creations, I'm really coming to appreciate just how good the quality is, the amazing performance, and I love this bottle stop presentation. I mean, I've never seen a bottle with a gold plating like that. It's really stunning, and very blessed to own this bottle and wear it. So if you're familiar with Seraphim Blue, this is a flanker of that. It's got this prominent eucalyptus note, so you definitely have to be a fan of eucalyptus. If you enjoy using eucalyptus and like a diffuser when you're at home just chilling, it does give that kind of relaxed type of vibe to it. This one, the cypress is not as prominent and heavy as it is in the blue, and it adds a pink pepper, which gives it a little bit of a sweetness. So for those reasons, I really prefer this one over the blue, and I wore this one last week. The performance was incredible. I did not go nose blind to it, and that's going to obviously based on your genetics. It's going to vary from person to person. But for some reason with this particular fragrance, I was not going nose blind to it. I was picking it up all throughout the night, and 6, 7, 8 hours later, it's like I just sprayed it. Even the next day, I smelled my shirt and it was just still coming off of it very prominently. So if performance is something that's important to you and you want something on the more unique side without being too challenging, something that's fresh, that's going to work in a lot of situations, and you like eucalyptus, it's very important, you may want to check out Signature Seraphim Red. Phenomenal fragrance, phenomenal presentation. Really enjoy the fact that I am able to use and own this one. Hopefully you guys will get some use out of it if you find that you enjoy it as well. All right, next one up we have is Attar Khaltat Night. Shout out to Joel's Matrix. If you're watching this, if you know, he's kind of a legend here in the fragrance community. He always gives out great recommendations. I decided to pick this one up as a blind buy, and thankfully it was a blind buy gamble that paid off, so it worked out. It's got a lot of cinnamon in the top. It's definitely got this like cherry and apple mixture coming in there. It's a gourmand through and through. It's perfect for the fall time, perfect for going out later at night. I think it's definitely more of a night fragrance, as the name suggests. Good performance here. If you enjoy fragrances like Angel Share or PDM Wajan, this one kind of does a similar thing. A lot of cinnamon up top, and then as it dries down, the apple and the cherry really become a little bit more prominent. Similar to those cinnamon apple Yankee candles, if you're familiar with those. That's the first thing that came to mind. Great performance. If you like Wajan and or Angel's Share, I think you're going to also enjoy this one if you enjoy that scent profile, that kind of gourmand cinnamon apple cherry kind of pie smell going on here. But no booziness like an Angel's Share, so it does have that difference. Maybe a little bit closer to Wajan because of that. Anyway, next up we have is from the house of Jusbox. This is a really interesting house. They kind of combined fragrance and music, my two favorite things, so had to check them out. And I've really been enjoying Cheeky Smile. It's kind of a strange fragrance. It's very different. If you're looking for something a little bit unique, you may want to check this one out. But beware, it is the most synthetic fragrance that I know of. If you look at the notes, it's all synthetics. Ambro wood, Ambro fix, amber this, amber that, iso-y this, iso-y that. It's all synthetics. And you may think that it smells cheap because of that, but it really doesn't. It's kind of a shocking fragrance. Still smells really great quality, and unfortunately you do go a little bit more nose blind because it is so synthetic, but you're going to find yourself picking it up hours and hours later as if you just sprayed it. So performance is important to you. This is a great option. You could really probably wear this all year round, but I think the fall time is a good time to pull this one out and give it some more use. It does get compared to, I heard someone online describe this as TV static. So that's a really weird way and funny way to describe a fragrance, but it really makes sense. It does have this like kind of white muskiness to it. If you've ever tried Banana Republic's Pure 90 White, this is kind of like a niche take on that. It's got that white musk, but still fresh. So an interesting fragrance, kind of bizarre, kind of unique, but I like that about it. And as you begin to amass more and more fragrances, you find some joy in these kind of strange scents that you like for whatever reason. But maybe check out a sample before you go into this one. And you got to definitely be cool with those synthetics. This one is based off of acid house music, which I'm a big house music guy, so I was just kind of naturally drawn to this fragrance. So Jusbox Cheeky Smile. It's got a little record as the cap, so little fun presentation there. All right, what's actually my favorite coffee fragrance at the moment from the independent niche house of Day 3. Day 3 fragrance has been taking the world by storm. This one's called Tacita De Cafe, a winner of the 2023 Olfactory Awards. I believe that was the name of the award show. They did a blind smell of a bunch of different fragrances, and this one ended up winning. So that kind of got me interested in it. And then when I actually tried it, I understood the magic that is Tacita De Cafe. For those who may not be fluent in Spanish, that translates to my little cup of coffee. This fragrance was made by Michael Paul, the perfumer, created this as a perfume for his stepmom, basically, that really reminds him of his stepmom's house and them getting together, drinking coffee and eating dessert, and just kind of gives that feeling of being at home and that feeling of like comfort, wholesomeness, which Translates really well into this fragrance. Definitely invokes those feelings when you wear it. At least it does for me. Can't guarantee that for you. But if you're looking for something that has a nice coffee top note that kind of transitions into this like cakey gourmand type fragrance that lasts for hours and hours. It is unisex, even though it was created for a woman originally. I wear this one all the time and I don't feel like it leans too feminine. You have to be into coffee fragrances because there's a prominent dose of that, but it's blended really well along with like these chocolatey gourmand type cake, vanilla type nuances really. So evening time, cooler weather, this one's gonna shine. Amazing quality from this brand. If you guys are not familiar with Day 3, I highly recommend you check out their sampler set. They're only like, I don't know, I think like $35, and then you get a discount from their other full bottles. So it's a good deal just to get your nose on these. Great quality for a great price, and a really interesting person. If you want to look more into this Day 3 brand, I think you're going to be very entertained. At least it's a very fascinating story about their whole come up and their different fragrances that they've created, if you're interested in that sort of thing. All right, let's go on now to the house of Mancera, a house that I really enjoy. You get a great fragrance for a great price. It's a niche fragrance that lasts a long time usually. This is none other than Tonka Cola, a really fun fragrance to wear out when you're just hanging out with your friends, or you're gonna just go out like casually with some buddies to grab a couple of drinks or something. Maybe you're going to a bowling alley, maybe you're going to an arcade, something like that. Something fun and easygoing. It's got that Coca-Cola vibe, but it has also this really nice cherry note that gives it a little bit more intrigue, makes it more than just a basic Coca-Cola type smell. So more like cherry Coke at the end of the day. It does dry down into this prominent kind of vanilla base, which many fragrances do, but that Coca-Cola and cherry combo, they are persistent, and it does last for the majority of the life of this fragrance. So excellent pickup for someone that really enjoys these kind of sweeter and more fun and perhaps a little bit more youthful fragrances. You definitely get the soda pop effervescent sparkle that is really magical, and I always really love when a fragrance has that kind of like soda pop effervescence to it. It just kind of captures your attention immediately. So Tonka Cola from Mancera is a stunning fragrance that I think a lot of other people are going to recommend for the fall, along with myself here. All right, let's go now to the house of Molinard, which is an excellent house. They've been around since 1849. This is Lavande. As you can probably guess, it is a lavender-based fragrance, so you have to like lavender. But this may not be a lavender like any other lavender you've ever smelled. It's a very natural smelling lavender. It's seriously like you're in a lavender field and you're like grabbing the lavender with your hands and then you're like smelling that. That's how natural this is. I was working a wedding this past weekend and I was outside and I made the mistake of actually spraying this because without thinking, and I had all these like flies and insects constantly like flying at me, and it was a little bit annoying, but it just goes to show how natural the lavender is here. I mean, these insects, they couldn't distinguish the fragrance from the real thing, I guess. I was just getting swarmed, so be careful if you're wearing this one outside in a park or something, you might get attacked. But great performance here, fantastic quality. These Molinards, you can usually pick them up for under $50. And they last all day long, and you're going to be shocked by the quality that you get. Probably the best value as far as a niche fragrance goes, as far as quality for what you pay. Nothing cheap and synthetic here, just A+ quality. They could charge 2 or 3 times the price, and it would be worth it at that price point. But the fact that they're going for under $50, you could pick these up. If you're looking for a lavender fragrance, if lavender is a note that really interests you, that's kind of what got me interested in this. I've been realizing lavender is one of my favorite notes, so if you want like an earthier, more natural kind of niche take on a lavender, check out Molinard's Lavande. Also gets compared to Tom Ford's Lavender Extreme. Haven't tried that, so won't really comment on that, but that's floating around in the ether as far as what this gets compared to. So, all right, 2 more. Thanks for sticking with me. Hopefully I haven't bored you to death by now. This is Michael Malul's collaboration with the one and only Ashton from Gent Scents. This is Jet Black Enigma. Probably my favorite woody fragrance right now, and I always go back to this one. It's got this cozy vibe. It's got a perfect date night appeal to it. It is masculine, it is warm, it is spicy, it is woody. It is not overpowering in any one of those categories, just a perfect blend. Ash really killed it with this one, and highly, highly impressed, even more so with him after trying some of his creations. So if you haven't gotten the chance to get your nose on this and you enjoy kind of woody and spicy masculine fragrances, this is certainly one you want to take a look at. Pretty easy to wear all the time. Not really a casual fragrance, but it could be. Certainly office safe It doesn't really project too far. It kind of stays in a 1 to 2 foot radius, which really makes it good for the office and most other situations as well. I wouldn't call this a casual fragrance necessarily, but you could certainly wear it casually. You can get a lot of versatility out of this one. So ideally in like that 25 to 45 range is where I see this, but obviously wear whatever the hell you want, whenever the hell you want. That's just kind of where I see this fragrance fitting in as far as like in my mind. But Jet Black Enigma, Mike Mole Gent Sense. Let me know if you guys tried this one. What do you think about it? I don't hear a whole lot of talk about it. I seem to feature it quite often, but I really do love it. It is my favorite woody fragrance. So for the fall, I can't help but bring it up again. So Jet Black Enigma, fantastic. All right, last but certainly not least, if quality is important to you, and I would assume it is since you're watching a niche fragrance video, Ingenious Ginger from Goldfield and Banks. If you guys are not familiar with this brand, they are from Australia, and their whole shtick is they use a lot of natural ingredients, and they have their fragrances come across, very natural, high quality smelling. That's kind of their whole deal, right? So with this one, obviously you get a bunch of ginger, but it's more of a like fall and winter time appropriate ginger. A lot of times ginger can come out very fresh and sparkling and effervescent, and that's really nice for the summer. But when you're in the fall, you need a little bit of heft, you need a little bit of like density to it, and you need a little bit of like this vanilla backbone to really give it some more push in the fall time when things are cooling down. And that's exactly what this one does. It does have this Moscow Mule type smell. You got to be a fan of ginger, and if you love ginger like I do in fragrances, you're gonna absolutely fall in love with this one. It gets some comparison to Suspiro Vibrato and Tigar, although I don't find that this one is as similar to those two as they are to each other, if that makes sense. The unique thing and interesting thing about this one is of all of those the best suited for the fall and winter time. Great performance here, good quality. You can usually find these for like $100 or less. Definitely a brand that's worth looking into if you enjoy a nice, natural, high quality smelling fragrance from Goldfield and Banks called Ingenious Ginger. Have you guys tried this one? Let me know what you think about it if you have. That's all 10 for today. I appreciate you sticking with me all the way to the end here at the Fragrance Fraternity, the best freaking smelling fraternity in the world. You know what it is, guys. Let me know in the comments below what are some niche fragrances you're looking forward to rocking. What did I miss in this list? What have you tried? I enjoy the conversation. Let me know, guys. Have a great rest of your day. I will catch you next time at the one, the only, the Fragrance Fraternity. Keep being great members of your community. Keep smelling good out there, guys. I appreciate all the support, and we're going to keep it going here at the Fragrance Fraternity. Take care, guys.